Josh Darrow, Scott Golden, our Hoop Exchange podcast, and lots to talk about. July, the evaluation period for summer basketball, kids traveling all over the country, Scott traveling all over the country. So we've got a plethora of topics to talk about, and we encourage you to stay patient as we get through a lot of players and seemingly a lot of movement with some players and some new faces arriving on the scene, a commitment to talk about, and lots of good basketball info to pass along here with Scott. Let's start with Team Breakdown, Scott, and let's start with the player who made his announcement earlier this week. Malik Price Martin has given a verbal commitment to Andy Enfield and the University of Southern California. He's going to go to prep school for another year. Do you like the commitment of Malik? What do you make of it? And what kind of player is Andy Enfield getting out on the West Coast?
I think it's a great move for both. I think he's getting a terrific player. Malik had a great summer. Obviously he's been on the scene for a long time. Coach Enfield was at Florida Gulf Coast, so he saw him for many years. And he's made the jump to USC, and now Malik will too. I watched him play in Vegas, and thankfully, so I could get myself off the tables while I was getting creamed. But he was terrific. He was just all over the place, long as could be, blocking everything, rebounding everything. He's gotten stronger, even more agile. Andy's getting a terrific player out of Malik. I think that's a good commitment.
All right, some couple other players on Team Breakdown to talk about. One would be Drake Lamont, who plays at American Heritage Plantation, has played with Team Breakdown for a couple of years now, a big post guy. What'd you see from him this summer? What have you heard?
I think Drake was still a little upset about the bad call up in Lakeland that he got with the City of Palms qualifier. But he certainly didn't let that affect him, throughout the summer. He was great in Vegas. Just an absolute presence in the post, using his moves. His hook shot was just falling everywhere, and just uses that body so well. He gets up and down the floor, but he's just such a presence when it comes to rebounding the basketball. Anywhere in his area, he's grabbing it down. He was good.
All right, now there's a name that not many people, including myself, are familiar with, but you are. Played for Team Breakdown, and soon we'll have some connections to South Florida. Tell us about Harold Givens.
Harold Givens plays with Breakdown, 6'6", super athlete, high flyer, alley-oops everywhere. Had a lot of recruitment years ago, a lot of high major recruitment, and just was kind of off the scene for a little while. But he apparently is moving or has moved to South Florida, and I'm not sure if he's picked a school yet. But he'll be there for this fall at one of the schools down there, and people will know him very quickly.
Well, thanks for the tip.
Say that again?
I said thanks for the tip.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to all enjoy watching him play.
Well, we're excited to get out and see him play once we find out where he lands. Now, Jose Morales is someone who we are completely familiar with at Cardinal Gibbons, going back to his ninth grade years. We've talked about him before here on the Hoop Exchange podcast. He played with the South Florida Panthers. They played in the final evaluation period down in Puerto Rico. And I know you have some information about his recruitment, a lot of interest in the Gibbons point guard.
Yeah, while all the teams were pretty much sitting in either Orlando or Las Vegas for this third period, the South Florida Panthers took their team to Puerto Rico, which, by all accounts was an unbelievable experience and very cool. But Jose's kind of flown off the charts. 2015, one of the best point guards in the country, as many college coaches will say. And now he's starting to get his work. He's got UCF and FAU, FIU, and of course he's got the grades. So Princeton and Yale are on him. He's got quite a few others, and it's no surprise.
Now, speaking of, might be a slight surprise, probably a surprise in both directions, and we're talking about Melvin Randall A, that he was let go, but we understand, obviously, the circumstances around that. Even better, though, and thankfully to not too many people's shock, he was brought back. So Melvin Randall will be back at Ely. They will look to defend their title again, but just what it means to have Melvin back on the sidelines in South Florida.
Well, it's only a few weeks after we talked about it, on the podcast. But Melvin decided to stay, and the kids, in turn, looks like most of the kids will all stay put as well. So Ely should be right back to where they used to be and never miss a beat, which is a good thing for South Florida.
We're talking with Scott Golden here on the Hoop Exchange podcast, kind of putting a little closing the book, closing a chapter, so to speak, on what happened in the month of July. A huge evaluation period for a ton of travel and AAU teams, and for Scott as well, and the work that he does. The player movement is upon us, more or less, here in South Florida. One significant player leaving, a couple of players coming. We already spoke about Harold Gibbons. Let's talk about one player who is leaving, a very good player indeed, a guy that's got an unbelievable shot. Kobe Eubanks of American Heritage Plantation will no longer be in South Florida. He is leaving. Where is he going? Where is he gone?
It's unfortunate. I like Kobe a lot. He's terrific. He had a great summer. He's had a great several years. And it does look like he's moving out of South Florida and heading up to New York, kind of the opposite of most snowbirds. But he's hopefully find a great place up there and continue his success. Really has been a great player in South Florida for a long time.
And then two guys are coming. So we've already talked about Harold Gibbons. Talk to us about, let us know, inform the public. Bring us your expertise. Two new faces could be playing in South Florida. Who are they?
Yeah, we mentioned Harold Gibbons is going to be a new face in South Florida. Dante Scott is a strong 2015 guard who's coming from Atlanta. Looks like he'll be here this weekend and will be heading to Cardinal Gibbons. His whole family's moving down. He's going to be a force. He'll help them a lot. About a 6'4", 6'5", just super strong guard, being recruited by quite a few high majors. He actually committed to Mississippi State a few weeks ago, and I'm not sure if that'll stay or not. But being that it's so early, at the end of his year, but he'll definitely be a presence in South Florida. And then you've got Isaiah Omoreji.
See what I did there? By the way, Scott, you see what I did there? I let you pronounce his name. And you did great, by the way.
Not an easy one to pronounce.
No, I was not playing the role of an effective point guard there. I just sort of left you out there to take on the double team of Scott and Omoreji, and you handled it beautifully.
I'll save you with the shot. The Isaiah, about a 6'7", great frame, very long. He'll rebound the ball well. I'm not sure exactly where he's heading. Once he lands in South Florida, but it does appear that he's moving down. So he'll make somebody happy as well. He used to play at Jesuit up in Tampa.
And it's in athletics and sports, when you can just call somebody by a name, one name, it means that they're pretty talented and pretty identifiable. So when we say Haney, everybody knows who we're talking about, and he's dealing with an injury. What's the update?
Yeah, he's been out for a couple of weeks. Got hurt at the end of Peach Jam, and Nike Team Florida with him was rolling, and then they took a tough beat as he got hurt. But he really did help them kind of propel into some wins, because they didn't miss a beat and came in second at Nationals in Orlando. But he'll be back in a few weeks. Just a minor injury, out for about 6 weeks, and he'll be, once the fall starts, some fall practices for high school. He'll be good to go at Pines Charter.
All right, Team Gold Coast, Shaky Rodriguez. We continue to talk and evaluate, discuss the performance of players from our area over the course of the July evaluation period. And one Scott is Joe Lopez of South Miami.
Yeah, Joe Lopez was a beast all summer. He was the driving force behind Gold Coast. Just does it all. He's just an effective four-man who cleans up everything in terms of making his players better from the lane, as well as giving them a million second chance opportunities, rebounding the basketball, putbacks, and he's skilled. So he definitely helps the team, but he's also helped his recruitment. He's got High Point and App State and Stetson, Ryder, Stephen F. Austin, and quite a few more. He's got about 20 mid-major schools that have offered him thus far, which is great for him and deserving.
Two other players on Gold Coast. One, unfortunately, dealing with an injury. Austin James from Miami High, and then the Massey twins. See, just like Haney. You say the Massey twins, you know who you're talking about. The Massey twins at American Heritage Plantation really. Their intangibles, I guess, were showcased summer evaluation period. Let's talk about James's injury and then what the Massey twins, how they helped themselves in July.
Well, Austin James was the second leading scorer for Gold Coast all summer. Shoots the ball really well, and just an all-around scorer at 6'3" from Miami High. He did well, but he did get hurt. He tweaked his ankle pretty bad and was out. So Gold Coast took a couple of losses, without their second leading scorer toward the end. But they were rolling with him. I think they had won about 5 straight, in Orlando before he went down. So he should be getting quite a bit, from his performance. And the Massey twins, they're just two names that you always hear about. And part of it is the way they play. Justin and Jason, they hustle, they play hard. The 50-50 balls they're constantly getting. They really get after it. And Justin shoots the ball really well, and which in the last year he's come a long way with that. And Justin goes to the basket, and gets to the basket with his 6'4" frame. So the two of them have done themselves a lot of justice, just playing hard and consistent, throughout the years. But certainly in July, it's been good.
And finally, we'll end with a bang. Prince Ali, who might be one of the most talented players in our area, and of course nationally as well. How was Prince's summer?
Well, it was pretty good, to say the least. I just got off the phone and heard who's offered him, from his summer, and it's a list of who's who. He played with Florida Elite this summer. He finished with Florida Elite this summer, and did great. And just to rattle off a few, Nebraska and UConn, Illinois, Miami, University of South Florida, LSU, Rhode Island, Georgia, Washington. I think you can pretty much go across the BCS gamut and find a school that's offered him. But he's doing well. His game has definitely flourished. He gets to the basket about as good as anybody in the country, and so it's certainly no surprise that he has as much as he does going on. Another guy that I think did really well was Sidney Amude from St. Thomas. He played with Each One Teach One, and didn't get a lot of playing time in Peach Jam and a few of the Nike tournaments. He played, and when he went in there, he did great things. But they were just so loaded with high major guys that it was tough for everybody to get on the floor. But in Atlanta, a few guys split. Some guys went to D.C. for the Global, and he went to Atlanta with the rest of the team. and played